Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Taisha's Thoughts. It has been quite a while since I've recorded a video, did any kind of vlogging. It's been about a year. And for the few subscribers I did have, they're probably like, why the hell did she delete all her videos? Well, you're about to find out. In today's video, what exactly has really been going on in my life and what has led me to feel like that I need to come back to doing vlogging back on my channel. So I'm going to start to do a series called Release. So this part one is my journey, and it's my journey through grievance, through coping, how it's changed me, my faith, how I'm pushing myself to move forward, but I have been condemning myself, wishing I would have woke up sooner. I'm so serious that I even have notes written down, okay? Because this is going to be a different side of Taisha that a lot of people have not seen because they're used to the way that I used to be. But I have gone through some things that has, excuse my language, really whooped my ass. And I feel like I should be open and honest and just be very forthcoming about what I've been through, because I'm hoping that this will help somebody else. I'm not trying to make it long. God knows I'm not trying to make it emotional. But if I cry, don't judge me. Because no matter how strong of a person you are, life has a way of tearing your ass up. Okay? And sometimes you gotta cry, even though I ain't crying. But nonetheless, I really want to get into this, and here we go. So, part one is the type of woman I was. Ooh, child. I did not love life at all. It's always been easy for me to laugh things off because I know that I do have a gift of making people laugh. Hell, making my own self laugh. I know how to laugh at myself. Sometimes warranted, sometimes not warranted. And although I've always had a big heart, I loved hard, I cared for people hard. It's still the way that I am to this day. But I also held in a lot of anger and unforgiveness in my heart like no other. I was the type of person that I took pride and strength on standing on principle, okay? Unforgiveness, okay? Feeling like that, oh, you're not gonna get one over me type of person. I felt like it was kind of overshadowing the type of person that I knew that I was. But at the end of the day, like, when you've been through a lot of things and when you've been hurt and stuff a lot, you put up a defense mechanism of feeling like that you have to be really like, I gotta be about it. Like, if a person gives you a 5, I had to give them a 10 or a 20, let them know like, you're not gonna play with me. And I took pride in being that way. But I never realized, how much of a hold, like it had on me. And I honestly felt like guarding myself was the best thing to do for me, because I've been through a lot. I've shared in previous videos, like, I was molested by the age of 7. I was molested multiple times by a man that my mom had married. I've been bullied really bad for the way that I look, the way that I talk. Like, I got bullied for being smart. I wanted to hang out with all black kids, but they felt like I was too white because I spoke proper and I got good grades. So I never fit in with the black kids, but I was too black to fit in with the white kids. I even got made fun of my complexion, and I can't help my complexion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a little darker when I was younger, and as I got older, I started getting lighter. But I do have a lot of light skin, a lot of light skin, brown skin people on both my mom and my dad's side, especially on my dad's side. And I, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't help what you look like, or, you know, what your skin color is going to be. But nonetheless, all those things led up to the type of person that I was. And I'm hoping people can relate to that. Like, the way that I used to be. Like I said, I felt like I had to be sitting on ready. I had a heart of unforgiveness, holding grudges, and but it was the only way that I knew how to protect myself from going through those same things. Um, yeah, so, you know, there are people who've had it a lot worse, but life definitely wasn't handed to me on a silver platter. And, you know, I've been through a lot of traumatic things as me being younger, and I really let it define me, and I really let it change me into being a woman that I honestly knew that I should not have been, but that's just the way that it was for me. Up until May 11th, 2022. This is the day that changed my life forever. Um, I got a phone call that my 49-year-old mother died. Um, I don't know if you can relate to losing your mom, but when I tell you, my Lord, it is a feeling like no other. I felt like someone took my heart and ripped it in my face. And I felt every rip, every pain. It broke me down really to my soul, to my core as a person. And I honestly never felt so many different emotions. You know, I was angry, confused. I felt abandoned, blindsided, and felt so lost. You know, you know, I hated the fact that why out of all people it had to be my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, why her? And there were a lot of circumstances that were around it that really struck me to my core. And I've made previous videos about the way that I felt about my mother. And I realized I wasted a lot of time within our relationship standing on principle. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the dumbest thing in the world to be standing on your pride, to be standing on unforgiveness. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not everybody deserves all of you. And you're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But you don't have to reconnect with everyone who has done you wrong, because you can forgive and move on, because not everybody is meant to stay in your life for the rest of your life. There are some people that come in your life for seasons, and they're here to teach you things. Teach you things about more about yourself, or what you accept, what you don't accept. You know, it definitely builds your character. It really builds you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and I reiterate once again, not everyone deserves that quality of you. But there are certain relationships, like with your mother, your father, your siblings, your grandparents, relationships that are very monumental, your children, that you honestly, genuinely should love harder than the hate you feel. If you may feel hate, the anger you feel, love harder. Because when it's said and done, when they're gone, you can't make up for lost time, because you had to stand on principle, or had to stand for what's right, because it don't matter no more. It really truly doesn't. And it really changed me by me losing my mother. You know, I remember right after she passed, and I looked in the mirror and I realized I did not like what I saw when I looked back at me. I'm gonna tell you what I saw in me. I saw a woman with childish behavior. I took pride like a fool. on standing on principle, holding grudges, holding unforgiveness. Man, that's like, girl, like I just look back at me like, girl, you dumb as hell. You know, like it really wasn't. It really wasn't worth it, and it's not worth it. It really, really isn't. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Sometimes it was not easy loving my mom. I can't say there were things I didn't have a right to be mad at, but what I failed to realize was I absolutely had no goddamn right to stay mad. I should have loved harder. Like I said earlier, I should have loved harder. And I should have realized what beauty and strength it actually takes to forgive and to move on. But I was so damn dumb. You know what I'm saying? Because standing on principle and pride, once again, it lost a lot of time with my mom that I can never get back. And losing her took the sunglasses off the cloudy misconception that I had on life and showed me I truly indeed had a lot of growing to do. And it was a devastating reality. Like I lost her, and I feel like it was a slap in my face because I'm sitting here looking at myself like, damn, I'm disgusted by the type of woman I allowed myself to become. And that's why it made losing her 1,000 times worse. My mom always used to tell me how good of a person I was, but she always used to tell me that my anger in my mouth was horrible, because it was. And I needed to change. She did. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes maybe she could have followed her own advice, and I love my mama because she was a very strong woman. But she always used to tell me that my mouth, the way it was set up, and my anger, it took a lot, it dimmed the type of good person that I was and that I still am. It really dimmed a lot of my good qualities because the way that I was set up. And you know, when you've been let down by people you trust, you know, you've been bullied, like I said earlier, disrespected, taken advantage of, lied to, and even molested, like I mentioned earlier, it changes you. Yes, it does. But I let it redefine me. I let it harden my heart. But I felt, you know, like I said, at times it was the best way to be that way because I felt like I didn't have a choice. And I was tired of being hurt. You know, and I can admit wholeheartedly, I definitely had it backwards. You know, losing my mom took the blinders off of my life and really made me see how short life truly is. And like I said, I might be a little naive for thinking this, but you know, I always felt like that my mom was like almost invincible. She's been through so much. She's had heart attack, stroke, breast cancer, you name it, she's been through it. And she, you know, defeated all those odds. And sometimes you don't realize how much of a limited time you have with people, because even though I was blessed to have her for 30 years of my life, now all I have is just memories. If I want to listen, the only way I can hear her voice is through saved voicemails and videos that I have and pictures. That's all. And it's a constant reminder of like, damn, like my mom really isn't here anymore. And it has really affected me and my siblings, you know, my grandmother, you know, it really has affected us in all different ways, and it's really been challenging. And I felt like nothing felt right, and that's why I stopped making videos and deleted those, because I felt like in a sense I was being disrespectful and some of the things that I've said in my videos, and I should not have went so hard on my mom, because despite everything, my mom was always there. And what I failed to realize is the fact, and I'm gonna tell you something, in the black community, a lot of our mothers and their mothers are not giving the best hand. and they give us what they've been given. Now, I'm not saying that that's not right, and maybe wishing someone would step up and maybe want to change the generational curses. But when it was all said and done, my mom was the type of person, she'd rather struggle with all four of her children than to live her best life without nan one of them. Family was important to her, and yes, she loved us all differently. I can say that because there were different approaches she had with me than versus with my sister, my brother, and my youngest sister. But nonetheless, she loved us all the same. And I didn't give a damn if I got into it with her that same day. Let somebody on the street mess with Katina Diane Thompson, or I was coming for their head. I don't give a damn if I just was arguing with her 5 minutes ago. Ain't nobody on the street gonna disrespect mine. And that's on facts. And it still stands to this day. You know, because I'm Katina Thompson's daughter. A part of her is always gonna live through me and live through her other kids and her mother. Or my mama ain't never gonna be forgotten. But I'm still struggling a year later. You know, there isn't a day that goes by that I wish she was still here. You know, as I'm working on being the woman my mother and God sees in me, and as I'm striving to push forward, it doesn't feel the same. It feels, in a sense, like it's almost wrong. And I don't know if anybody can relate to feeling like you're trying to do the right thing, go in the right direction, and it's like the more that you're really trying to do better, it's like the worse that it feels. It's hard as hell. Like, I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but that's what I got going on right now. I'm just gonna keep it 100, you know. And I know for me, it's because I haven't forgiven myself. It's because I condemn myself, wishing all the time that I wish I would have been slow to anger, and that I wish I would have loved harder, like it says to do in the Bible, because you're supposed to love. You're supposed to love hard, and love, real love, it never fails. You know, I genuinely feel in my heart and my soul, I owe it to God, I owe it to my mama and myself to really get it together. But you know what I feel, what I failed to realize is, you know, but what I failed to realize is that I was lost by the Taisha that I used to be. And it's like, the kind of woman that I want to really truly be in my life, you know, and it has not been easy, you know. And unfortunately, from some of the circumstances that happened surrounding my mother's passing, it's triggered really bad anxiety and PTSD. So I literally get anxiety attacks just the thought of being around people. It's only particular people now that I'm comfortable around. And, you know, we live in a world where people are so desensitized that people are quick to pick up a phone and video record someone than it is to help someone. And I'm just not set up that way. But it's made me look at the world like, damn, like, people are really cruel and mean. And it it I withdrew back, and that's another reason why I stopped making videos, because I withdrew back. You know, I am struggling with anxiety and PTSD. I can be very open about it, you know, because I've actually been clinically diagnosed with these things. And it's like I feel like I don't belong in the world, like you know what I'm saying. And I'm trying to work through it, but it's not easy. But I haven't honestly left my house in a year. Yeah, it's crazy. And there are other people that I'm pretty sure has been through the same things that probably feel as if like they get nervous just the thought of being around people, because that's kind of where it's at with me currently. Um, you know, I'm a 31. I'm 31 years old. I'm a perfectly imperfect person. I pray every day. I read my daily Bible scriptures. through my Bible plans. And I'm really trying to strive to be the woman that my mother saw in me. But I stumble. Hell, I may cuss someone out the same damn day, but I pray for you. I damn sure will. And I ask God to forgive me. But when I honestly even look back on that, it takes so much energy, you know what I'm saying, to be upset. And even now, whether if I'm wrong or right, I'm gonna apologize and repent because I know better and I'm really genuinely trying to do better. These last 2 years for me personally have been really rough. And although I'm young, when life whoops on your ass at a young age, it makes you feel even more tired than what your actual age is. you know. But one thing I do know is that, and this is for someone out there who needs to hear this though too, for everything that you have been through in this lifetime, and you may have had it even worse than me, there are things that I'm still not speaking on because I'm just not ready to just yet. But I will get there, and I will make videos on it, and I will get there. But I want to say this: you did not, and I have to remind myself this too. But let me say this: you did not get this far to turn back now. Through your pain, there is purpose. Through your trials and tribulations and your struggles in this world, there is purpose. And God said that He will make your beauty from your ashes. Now, I'm struggling with that myself. Sometimes I gotta tell myself that, and on some days, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't believe it. But on other days,